I'm Gerard Brown. I'm the Solutions Manager for Firstgas Group. Enterprise architecture is one of my team's responsibilities. Enterprise architecture for us, it's about achieving business and technology alignment. This alignment is at the core of driving business value and cost efficiencies. Our business is to ensure uninterrupted availability of gas to the end users. Our business knows the value and the costs associated to this and how to best affect these. So our information services team aligns technology planning to enable that business. LeanIX is the tool that we've selected to help us do this. Prior to implementing LeanIX, we did not have any other specialist EA tool. So today I'll take you through our journey so far with LeanIX and the Citadel group. We started our implementation in July this year, and we're still early in the process and working to drive the full value of what we expect to get out of LeanIX. I'll start with some context of what our business is about and how this has shaped our technology environment. Firstgas was created in 2016 for the purpose of buying high-pressure transmission pipelines and distribution networks of Vector Gas Limited. The Maui transmission pipeline and some additional distribution network was purchased pretty soon after that. Firstgas is New Zealand's largest gas network with over 2,500 kilometres of high-pressure transmission pipeline, 4,800 kilometres of distribution pipeline across the North Island. Firstgas networks connect over 60,000 customers with natural gas. Gas Services New Zealand was created in 2017 by pulling together our specialist skills from across the business. It provides operational and maintenance support to all gas infrastructure owners, including the Firstgas Group. In mid-2018, the Ahuroa Gas Storage Facility joined the group from Contact Energy. Flexgas owns and operates the Ahuroa Gas Storage Facility in Taranaki. They store up to 18 petajoules of gas in a depleted gas field. For comparison, all New Zealand's hydro lakes filled to capacity hold 14 petajoules of energy. So it's quite a capacity there. Currently, they're moving 27 terajoules a day of gas into the field and a capability of removing 45 terajoules per day. We've just completed a large project there to extend it out to 65 terajoules a day each direction. And then in late 2018, Rockgas joined the Firstgas Group, also from Contact Energy. Rockgas is New Zealand's largest LPG retailer, serving over 100,000 customers from 9 branches and with a network of 27 franchises around the country. We deliver 45 bottles to homes for gas cooking, heating, hot water needs, as well as providing LPG tanks for business gas essentials. Our investors continue to explore opportunities to grow Firstgas Group by acquisitions, so our business and our technology environment could suddenly change and become a whole lot more complex at any moment. So an important factor in our decision making is that our business runs a really lean operating model. So our team at Firstgas comprises 350 people across a really diverse set of business capabilities. So we rely heavily on having strong relationships with a number of key service providers. The Firstgas Group IS team is made up of 11 staff. We operationally support the business across about 80 primary applications, and that's out to 14 office locations and field operations spanning the entire country. We're also at the same time driving a portfolio of about $15 million in IT projects for this year. So our decision to acquire an enterprise architecture tool was the next step in growing the maturity architecture practice. It was driven by several areas where improvement was really necessary. There was the need to build trust. A lot of the staff that joined Firstgas Group through acquisition have come from cultures where IT services were not afforded a great deal of trust. This has created a strong culture of self-reliance in the technology space, and so we have a lot of shadow IT. Years after acquisitions, we're still discovering the extent of shadow IT systems, and some of these are supporting business critical processes. We've got a lot of complexity. We've got current state complexity. There's a complex environment made up of shadow IT systems, duplicated technology capabilities that we've picked up through acquisition, and poorly documented and in some cases unsupported legacy systems. In order to better map this complexity, we've recently added, in using LeanIX, an IT component which we've named human. So a small abstraction to the whole thing, but it captures those movements of data between systems where we're actually relying on somebody to do it manually. And this is starting to produce some really interesting pictures of the level of complexity of how our data moves around and our reliance on key individuals in the business. We also have project complexities. In that portfolio of projects that we're currently working on, there's going to be some significant changes in our IT landscape. These projects include a transformation of our LPG business away from legacy systems, a number of workloads being migrated through to a hybrid cloud model, and a significant redevelopment of our transmission pipeline commercial operating systems. In and around this, we've got continuous improvement happening. Firstgas Group's got a really strong continuous improvement program run by a dedicated team. And they work with the business. They identify and define improvement initiatives, and where these have a technology component, then they're added to the IS project portfolio. These small initiatives need to be delivered quickly to support that continuous improvement culture that's evolving in the business. These investments need to be carefully positioned to realise the business objectives while not unnecessarily fragmenting our environment and creating unmanageable technical debt. So previously, our architecture was distributed across a range of Word, Excel, Visio files, and it was getting increasingly difficult to bring together the views we needed to define and articulate how we were planning to evolve the technology to support the business. While none of these circumstances were new for us, taking action had always been prioritised as we kind of matured the practice and had other priorities. But in July this year, the timing was right. We knew we needed to make the move towards an EA tool so that we could consolidate what knowledge we had across all of our systems and realise some of the following benefits. To build trust and engagement with the business by bringing the stakeholders into our enterprise architecture and actually working alongside of them to demonstrate our understanding of their business and how technology aligns to support that now and also moving forwards on the roadmaps. Capturing the complexities of shadow IT systems as they come to light. LeanIX is incredibly quick for us to just discover something new and get the context of that into the system. And then support business and technology changes by providing snapshots that filter the overall complexity of our systems to highlight the smaller areas that we need to actually consider. For example, to look at something in the context of a particular business capability or a process. So why was software as a service important to us? I guess initially it aligns to a cloud-first principle that we have. Software as a service, it allows for rapid implementation and with lower operational costs. Software as a service tools also tend to be really collaborative by nature. So our reliance on partners and service providers to help us deliver to the business means having the ability to easily collaborate with external parties is really important. Software as a service will also typically drive a closer relationship with the vendor and their partners. And we recognise the value of having those closer relationships and the additional viewpoints that brings to our own EA efforts, and getting the most out of the product. Finally, software as a service. These products typically benefit from more frequent updates and improvements, and these can be leveraged for a much lower cost of change compared to on-premises systems. Why did we choose LeanIX specifically? Rapid time to value was a real factor. LeanIX it's got a proven metadata model, which means we could just go straight to putting in our data and getting results out. For us, this was huge. As important as it was to implement an EA tool, we were actually constrained by how much time we had to give to it. Some of the really flexible tools in the market would require considerably more training, and then we'd actually have to define our metadata model and build that. And I think we would still be defining our model today, as opposed to being here talking to you about what we've already achieved. One of the big questions we had, will we outgrow the predefined model? Maybe, but I think in the short term, the 3 months we've been using LeanIX, we've already seen some really significant new capabilities added. And to be honest, the predefined model is so far surpassing our needs, and I can see it continuing to do so in the foreseeable future. It has a really clean, intuitive interface. And I think most importantly, our business stakeholders that have been able to interact with it, they really like how it looks, and they like how easy it is that they can find their way around and actually see the information that they're concerned with. No nonsense. Look, the sales process cut right to the chase to demonstrate the value for us. Some of the other options we looked at were kind of vague and even a little bit cagey when we were trying to understand what they had to offer. Talking with the Citadel group about LeanIX, look, they quickly understood who we were, what we needed, and responded appropriately. And of course, the other thing that really appealed was solid support model right from the start, across the initial setup and loading the data, and then ongoing defining goals and plans to keep moving forwards. And also, the time zone differences for us here in New Zealand, this hasn't been an issue. And the LeanIX folks in Europe have been super flexible to meet our needs around that. So that's where we landed with LeanIX. Where to next for us? We've only been using LeanIX for about 3 months, so we've got an awful long way to go. So we've completed the Jumpstart program, got the initial load of information into the system. LeanIX has been enthusiastically adopted by the wider IT team as we've started to introduce them to it, and they're steadily growing the information that we've captured in the system. We've got a plan to begin selectively introducing some of the business SMEs to LeanIX before the end of the year, and the plan there is that they'll validate some of the content we've pulled together so far and help us build out some of the gaps we know are in there. Our LeanIX Success Manager has worked with us to understand where our priorities sit and help develop a plan to evolve how we use LeanIX over the next 6 months, with a real focus on business architecture and project roadmaps. This will be followed, by continually evolving plans to keep the momentum going, keep building and leveraging what we've got around our architecture using LeanIX. In 3 months use at Firstgas Group, LeanIX has already become recognised across the IS team as a key tool in understanding and building alignment between our business and technology, witnessing how it's already influenced the work and thinking of our technology teams. I'm really excited to see how it, what happens as we bring the business on board with LeanIX. That's our story so far. I will hand you over now to our third speaker, Johannes from LeanIX.